the Hall of Fame ballots are counted, and we got our 3 guys who are going into the Hall of Fame. You know my ballot. I voted for 2 of the 3 who got in. Ichiro makes it almost unanimous, one vote shy.
You got beef with that 1 vote, or is it maybe you can understand?
That's what we're going to talk about. Yeah, that's the big thing. CeCe Sabathia got in, who I voted for.
Those are the 2 you got.
A lot of people were like, CeCe, is he really a Hall? Yes, he's in the 3,000 strikeout club. 251 wins, Cy Young, and won a World Series with the Yankees.
That was the key part too. Is that if you wanted to
nitpick, major, right?
He also won. He had a World Series title. But you mentioned that 3,000 mark, and the only couple people,
Roger Clemens,
which would have been said not for, you know what,
and Curt Schilling. Those are the only 2. Yeah. All the other pitchers were in the 3,000 strikeout club are in. And then Billy Wagner, who I have a problem with. I didn't vote for Billy Wagner. This is his 10th year on the ballot.
He didn't get better?
Has he pitched in the last 10 years?
He didn't get better in the last 10 years?
Well, I wasn't pitching, though. And Kelvin, that's the issue I have. His first year on the ballot, 10.5% of the vote. Where did the votes come from? Over the years, and people feel compelled in his final year on the ballot, we got to put him on because this is it.
This is it.
And it's a sympathy vote at the end, and I don't like it. To me, you shouldn't need 10 years to get in the Hall of Fame, because either you're a Hall of Famer or you're not. A lot of people are like, he's not first ballot, he's a second or third. To me, if you're in the Hall of Fame, you're a Hall of Famer. It should be one shot, and you should be like, yes, he is a Hall of Famer or he's not a Hall of Famer.
That's how I would prefer it. We talk about especially the NFL does it right, baseball does it right for the most part. NBA, because it's not NBA, because it's basketball, it gets weird.
Right, they don't have any control.
Yeah, because the guy played college, or he did this and she did that.
International.
International. Like, we don't even know their name. It's like, who is that? But
the Globetrotters are in a basketball Hall of Fame.
And that's fine at this point, as we talked about with Steve, I think a week or 2 ago. That's fine. Have the basketball. But the NBA needs to say, all right, we got an NBA where Magic, Kareem, Bird, Jordan, this is a little different than everybody else over there. So I would love to see that at some point. But it is, if there were a 68%, 70% of the vote, and after 6, 7, 8 years, I can understand it. Maybe you thought about it differently, new perspective, new evidence, new new way of looking. Like, for instance, there wasn't a war at some point, right? There wasn't a purr at some point.
Well,
maybe
here's
somebody
the thing
brought some
about
perspective when it made you go, okay, I didn't think about it. 10% to getting in is crazy work.
You were rejected 9 times on the ballot where the writers didn't think you were good enough to be a Hall of Famer, and now on your 10th year, they changed their minds? It makes no sense. It's illogical.
That part of it it's crazy. Like I said, if he was sitting around, like let's look at it from this year, right? So if you want to look at it this year, and you looked at some of the people who were like, okay, so let's say Carlos Beltran. Now, didn't get in, but if you're looking at it, 70.3% of the vote. So you say, okay, I could see why after a decade he would get the necessary, 12 more points, because maybe I didn't see about this, or maybe I thought, or I just didn't like the group of guys he was up against or something.
But there's never you get 10 votes. There's never 10 guys. Like, that is not the argument, and that's the people
it's a
say
sympathy
that.
vote, because you can't go from 10% to I'm in. That
10% to 75.
Is crazy.
Like, you got to get 75. Yeah. That's 3 out of 4 votes. You know what I mean? That is
on improvement when you didn't play.
Right, when you haven't played at all. Now let's do this. Let's talk about Ichiro, 1 vote short.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are up in arms. I saw John Heyman from New York Post, longtime baseball writer who I work with at Newsday in New York. Who's the numbskull who didn't vote for Ichiro? We got it when it was Derek Jeter. And I'm going to say this. As much as I complain about my brethren who have voted Billy Wagner in, it's their vote.
Yeah.
It is their vote. I don't think that anybody put in a ballot that had anybody else's name on it and they left Ichiro off. That I do not believe. I believe it's a blank ballot in protest.
Protest?
Just whatever it might be. Like, they just decide, you know what?
Oh, period. Not the Ichiro name. I'm not voting for anyone.
Nobody deserves to be unanimous, okay? And for all the people going to cry about Ichiro, can I give you some names?
Mm-hmm.
Willie Mays was not unanimous.
You can keep on
Hank
going.
Aaron was not unanimous.
You keep going.
Do you see what I'm saying? So the bellyache that first it was Jeter and now it's Ichiro, to me, I can't, because you'd have to tell me all these other great players who didn't get in unanimously. Mariano Rivera was the first guy.
One. Yeah,
and
one
even
and
then, it was shocking that no one to this point had ever gotten in unanimous, and all of a sudden Mariano, and now we believe that every year everybody should get in unanimously.
Completely agree with that.
I just don't understand that. And, people who are up in arms, it doesn't matter. Oh, I read on Twitter, they should take their Hall of Fame ballot away from them. No, it's your ballot.
Right? Rob G says they should take him away. He's over there going crazy.
Let me get on here.
Rob G, the issue is, before you go real quick, to Rob's point, is Ichiro was incredible, clearly, 99.7% of the votes or whatever it was. But to Rob's point, we've had some incredible players who've won multiple World Series titles who don't get in, or unanimously, I should say. And we've had some of when you think of the best player ever, oftentimes you don't say Ichiro. Now, he might be up there, and that person, whoever you're going to name,
ain't the best player, right.
He wasn't unanimous. So it becomes, while I might go, man, that's kind of wild that you wouldn't vote for him, we got a whole trail of people we can go down that list of the greats, or the best ever, and they didn't get unanimously.
Ken Griffey Jr. did not get in unanimous. Tom Seaver,
anybody
Ty
you're going to name, literally just name somebody. Sandy Koufax, it don't matter whoever you name, it's not going to get in.
I mean, Rob G, what would be your response to that? If you're telling me that you're okay with Willie Mays not getting in unanimous, but you got your pennies in a bunch over Ichiro?
It's not that I'm okay with Willie Mays not getting unanimous, or Ken Griffey Jr., Derek Jeter, whoever. The problem is, this is why fake news became a thing. This is why people do not trust the media, because you have self-important people who believe it's their right to say, you know what, I'm going to be the one to make sure this doesn't happen because it happened to Cal Ripken Jr. 20 years ago. So I'm going to be the one to make sure that Ichiro Suzuki, even though I'm going to vote for him next year and the year after that and the year after that, he's not going to be unanimous because I'm the guy. I'm the one who's special. I'm going to stand up on my high horse and make it seem like I'm going to be the one who can decide whose career is worth what and what it's not. When we know deep down whoever did vote or didn't vote or left a blank ballot, as you said, is going to vote for him again next year. But so what you're doing is full of crap. It's embarrassing to the sport. It's embarrassing to the BBWAA.
But see, here it is. The BBWAA got it right. You know what I mean?
As a whole.
And Rob G, you can't control everybody. Like look at all the other writers who voted for him because they looked at it.
The one out of the 200 and whatever. Shouldn't be the. I get the overall. I get what you're saying, Rob G. That totally makes sense. But I think when you look at it, if you're telling me that out of 200 and something 20-odd people, only one didn't vote for me, that's kind of crazy, actually, because nothing in life is like that.
Nothing.
Where you're going to get 100%.
In this world where we live
somebody's going to see something. Well, he didn't do this. He came too late. He didn't do enough. Did he win?
Right.
I didn't like the way he blah, blah. He screwed me over interview. That's how petty people can be at times. You know that.
Isn't that the problem then? Should that person have a vote if they are going to make it personal and say, I'm not going to allow you to be unanimous because it wasn't fair to George Brett and Hank Aaron and Tony Gwynn? No, you should be trying to right the wrongs of what happened to the people before you.
You think too highly of people, Rob G.
Right, I agree.
You're right. But
to be able, when you look at some of the percentages, Rob G, of people and other voters, you start to look at it and go, well, how come this one? Or how come? Yeah, give it to us, the numbers, Rob G.
So here are the closest to unanimous, including Ichiro, missed it by one.
Yeah, I've seen these before.
Okay, Derek Jeter missed it by one vote.
Yep. Right.
Ken Griffey Jr. missed it by 3. Tom Seaver by 5. Nolan Ryan by 6. Cal Ripken Jr. by 8. Ty Cobb by 4. George Brett by 9.
Look at Ty Cobb.
Hank Aaron by 9. And last but not least, Tony Gwynn by 13.
Ty Cobb definitely was flirting with somebody's wife.
And Tony Gwynn, who's one of the greatest hitters who ever played, 13 people didn't vote for Tony Gwynn.
Aren't you embarrassed, Rob?
No, because
this is what you hold. Because again, you mentioned I don't have a kids. I don't got a wife. This is one of your most prized possessions. You're a Hall of Fame voter,
no doubt.
And you have somebody who hijacked this moment from one of the all-time great players, knowing that Ichiro is a Hall of Famer. He is or he isn't. He is. But out of principle, I'm going to leave him off the list because I'm petty like that.
Yeah, I get your point. I do. I still believe, and I hold up to this. it's his ballot, and he has a right. As the way that, you get a ballot and have to earn it. You have to cover Major League Baseball for 10 straight years with a BBWAA card. So it ain't like some rogue guy who's not in the club and doesn't cover baseball. You can't get a vote without your 10 years of service. So this is their right that they've earned.
And as crazy as it is.
Otherwise, if there's no vote, then we should just put people in and never even take a vote. But that's not how we work.
Right. And as crazy it is, you know what it reminds me of too? Rob G, it's like the MVP. How we still don't know exactly what that means. You know what I mean? Like, but most valuable. Well, is he the best because he's the best on his team, or is he the best player on the best team? And so, point being, this writer may go, it's not that he's not a Hall of Famer. I just don't think he's first ballot. I think he's right there, but I don't put him on the likes of blah, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. So, to your point, he's going to get in, but I can't make him a Hall. He's not on the same tier as this person who I believe is a first ballot. And we obviously all disagree. But that's their vote, and that's what happens. When you get people vote, their definition of what they're voting for often changes.
And often there were people, of course, who were like, Rob, was that you who didn't vote? Was that you being No, that is not me.
Well, hold on. Don't get too
not
carried
that
away
guy.
because that was you for everybody else except two people.
That was not.
That was you for everybody but two.
No, my ballot was actually close to what
it was. You got 2 out of 3.
There were people voted for 10 people, and they honestly turn in a ballot with 10 votes for Hall of Fame.
Well, you said some people like to empty the clip.
Yeah, they do.
If I get 10 votes, everybody get in.
We're going to now take calls on the Baseball Hall of Fame here on The Odd Couple, and let this serve as a public service announcement.
Talk to them.
The Odd Couple is where you can come for all the biggest and most compelling stories in baseball. You know this, most national radio shows, they're faking it. They don't talk about the game. They don't watch it. They don't know the game. Take Kelvin, for instance. He does some of the Dodgers TV pre- and post-game stuff and watched baseball growing up in Detroit, a charter member of the American League.
Yeah, and of course, Rob, you already know we've been talking about a BBWAA member for almost 40 years. Excited. It's one of his most prized possessions. He is a Hall of Fame voter, and obviously tease you because you don't take days off, but you do in the summer because you spend your summers hitting ballparks. In fact, me and you have been to a couple.
No doubt. So make sure when you go on your baseball fix, check out The Odd Couple right here on Fox Sports Radio. Let's go 877-99 on Fox.
Who we got?
Peter in Honolulu. You're
I
on
want
The
to be
Odd
where
Couple.
you are, Peter. What's up?
Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Peter?
What's up, guys? How are you?
All good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we got
all
you, Peter.
Good,
Go ahead,
Peter.
brother.
Go ahead. Yep, all good.
So Rob, are you sure you didn't do hit? Like Derek Jeter dirty?
No,
Are
I
you
did.
sure?
I'm positive.
That's
I
gotta
did
be
not
racist.
do that.
Are you sure? Because let me see. It's got to be the same moron that didn't vote Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
It's a
Peter,
good point. It's a good point.
I believe that. I don't. Here's my thing. If you told me that somebody put in a ballot, right, where they voted for people, and they didn't put Ichiro as a vote, then I got a problem with that. I believe it has to be a blank ballot because there's no way you could post a ballot and not put Ichiro or Derek
So what's
Jeter.
the point? And thank you for the call, Peter. We appreciate
So
you.
who put a blank ballot in?
I don't.
And why did they do it is the
People
question,
have a
too.
right. You saw my ballot. On there it says, do you want your ballot to be public,
Yeah.
yes or no? And you have to check a box.
Yep.
I check yes because I'm not hiding anything.
Right.
But other people don't want their ballot to be public. And that's the guy who apparently
Ichiro.
has decided that he's going to put in blank ballots.
Told you that, and it's not the Hall of Fame, but that's what happened when the NBA went to the showing everybody's name with the MVP, and Steph got unanimous that year because everybody was nervous to be the one who didn't do it.
Andrew in Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What you got, buddy?
What's up, Andrew?
Thank you very much. I literally drive an hour to work each day at night, getting home, and I listen to you guys every day. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Y'all are hard hitting.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate
being. Thank you guys very much for what you guys do.
Means a lot, brother.
Really,
Thank you.
Billy Wagner, the guy needed to be in, man. Don't let him miss the opportunity. You know Ichiro is going to go next year. If it's not next year, it's the year after that. He's got plenty of time. And we do it because every year, whether or not it's baseball, football, whatever it is, you've got guys that are kind of on the cusp. It's just you just have such a good roster of people coming up from the hall.
But Andrew, it shouldn't
why
be.
are we taking that away from people, man?
We're
Like,
not
we've
taking
gotta
it
get them
away.
in.
It shouldn't be. My thing is this whole idea is not the Hall of Very Good. There's so many players who are very good and close. Thanks for the call, Andrew. But you know that, Kelvin, we can't put everybody in. This is not a participation.
The point of it is supposed to be the very best of the very best. And I've said this for years. It should be when you say it that we kind of go, oh, yeah. Like if we go football and I say Jim Brown,
you're not right. There's no
Deion
debate.
Sanders, Reggie White, Joe Montana. Like,
there's no debate.
That level.
Once you have to debate and break down somebody's career, and you got like Billy Wagner, well, for a left-handed pitcher, like not for a pitcher.
In his era, and if you look at this, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, he would, then it gets a little weird. Squeeze in one more.
Jabari in Michigan, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, so, good thing I'm going to talk about baseball because, that's like probably one of the fewest times I can actually get on because everyone wants to talk about basketball and football all the time.
That's right. But, hey, not on the Odd Couple. Jabari, we do talk baseball.
Oh, yeah, because, that's my thing, too. That's the reason why I get on, too, Yep. I'll talk about the sports, But anyway, yeah, I mean, honestly, here's my thing about this whole thing is that I feel like if you're going to put out that, hey, this is a percentage of votes that where this is how they got to the Hall of Fame, I feel like that me personally, I think that the people who are voting, it should be in public. That's just me. Because if you're covering the game and people could know that you're covering the game in public, then we should know who did you vote or who did you not vote and why didn't you vote for that person.
I agree. I agree you shouldn't hide. You know what I mean? If you're voting for awards, I think we should be transparent, and it's fine.
Especially when you're talking about writers who you're writing things in the public. This isn't like a diary.
Right.
You're writing things about players, good, bad, and different, about players for potentially years to decades. I think you're checking a box. You can be okay with that.
Yes, and Rob G, we do know the Jeter guy, right? Who was that?
Well, we know a guy who took onus, like he claimed that he did. So we'll never know because the ballot is not public. But San Diego Union-Tribune columnist Nick Canepa claimed in his 2022 column that he left Jeter off his ballot, and he actually had a blank ballot 2 consecutive years.
See, this is
because he didn't like the idea of having a first ballot Hall of Fame.
And this is what I was saying. Like it's got to be a blank ballot, and this guy in San Diego might be the thing. Who was the other one when Judge didn't get a unanimous for the MVP because 2 writers who covered the Angels voted for Ohtani.
Yeah.
Right? And that was another questionable thing. But all right, there it is. We covered it. And
congrats to the 3 that got in. Congrats to you.
No doubt.